What is going on, everybody? Lucas Parsons coming to you from Five Island Lake in Emmetsburg, Iowa for a quick little, well, it's not going to be a quick one. I got a lot of stuff to cover here, but they got a big tournament this Sunday. And I know a lot of people are wondering what the ice is like here in Emmetsburg, so we're going to show you what's going on. Right now I'm on the north boat ramp access right behind the third island. Standing out here, you can kind of see what things are looking like. It's kind of a little bit softer, but I mean, it's not terrible right here. I'm going to get out further before I drill a hole. Obviously, you don't want to be drilling holes by the access, but access is definitely getting rough. You can see that. I don't know, we're going to want to beat it up with, that's a lot of water sitting there. I think it might be a hole that's all the way through right there down to the bottom. So I think we're all the way through right here at the ramp, but it's not very deep. But it's only Thursday, February 1st, so things are going to change before Sunday. If you're coming Saturday to pre-fish, things are going to probably look a little bit different as we're still having those lovely 40-degree temperatures. I can tell you what, you guys see all these gray hairs on my beard, and now that I'm bald and have no hair just because of how this weather has been for this ice fishing season, boy, usually they say it's the kids that give you this stuff, but right now Mother Nature's been a pain in our butt. But bear with us. I'm going to show you what's going on, show you how things are looking in these lakes, and hopefully everything will be good to go for Sunday. So stay tuned, and I'll be drilling a hole here right behind the third island. And we got the old snow doggy with us. Great. Been saving our butt this guide season here with this lovely weather, but definitely take that thing on a lot thinner ice than most. It only weighs about 300 pounds. You can pull a lot with it. I got two sleds. You can kind of pull a lot of gear out with these bad boys, and they're definitely early ice and late ice. Great to have, even though it's definitely not late ice right now. So I am directly behind the third island here, so south of the third island. But these are kind of the spots. You got these cracks coming across where there's cracks in here. You're gonna have to watch these bad boys, but keep an eye out for those. But I'm gonna drill a hole. Stay tuned. Alright, so we got my hole drilled here. Kind of show you. Now I want to show you the difference here, because this ice, of course I forgot my tape measure, but that's pretty good ice right there. You're looking probably 12 inches, give or take. Depends on whose tape measure you're using, but that's pretty good ice. But now I'm going to go drill a hole, right over here where the snow's been sitting, and we'll see how much it varies there. So stay tuned. So with the white ice, you can tell kind of, there it is there. You can see where the bad stuff is, probably 1.5 inches, 2 inches of bad ice. And then, now I'm to the bottom of that. So you're looking at probably 10 or less there. So those spots are definitely going to vary. I'm going to head up to the Narrows next. So bear with me there, but always remember, the further south of the island you go, where the sandbar is and where the overflow dam is and all that stuff, be aware of that. That ice is going to vary a lot over there. I'm not going to go over there because I know, that ice has always been different. There was always water flowing early ice, and it was actually open not that long ago. So there's not going to be as good of ice over there. So remember that if you're venturing south of the island, just be very careful. Very careful. So, all right, we're going to venture into the Narrows, see what we got. All right, well, I didn't make it all the way to the Narrows. I kind of stopped in between there, but I'm right before the Narrows here, just on the north side of the third island. Kind of see holes been drilled over there, and the hole that's over there. So people have been fishing that. Just being mindful of these spots here. I got the snow dog, so I'm not really falling in these pockets here. If it's slush pockets, I haven't hit any yet, but I'll let you know more of what I see. But haven't found any yet, but I'm just kind of drilling on this whiter ice because obviously this is going to vary. But I mean, really, even though it's there, it's still not terrible. I mean, that's still pretty good right there. That's a good 10 inches roughly. I mean, maybe more, but like I said, somebody forgot his tape measure, so way to go, Lucas. But so that's what we got to go by for reference there, so you be the judge of that one. But yeah, that's kind of what I got this far. I'm going to get into the Narrows there and check that out. I've heard some spots where they're finding 6 inches ice. I haven't found that yet. I'm going to look for it just in case, so I can kind of make everyone aware. I'm going to ride the snow dog through the Narrows, go in between right before the far north end, where the big dredge cut is. I'm going to go all the way up through there and see what things look like. I know people are wondering about driving their stuff out, things like that. Me personally, I'm not driving any big machines out on this ice just because it's not as strong as it was, but you know, it's your call on what you want to do. So I'm just kind of here to show you what we've got. So, all right, on to the next one. All right, I've made it out, not quite all the way in the middle of the narrows, but I'm kind of due halfway and then drill a hole here and show you, and then I'm going to go to the other side and drill over there just to kind of see what we got. But a lot of the white ice is what you're going to look. I mean, that's where your variant ice is. That's where your slush pockets will be. The warmer this weather gets, the sun comes out. Right now, the wind's out of the north, so it's kind of a cold wind, so it's kind of saving our butts right now, which is great. Keeping that cold breeze, keeping the ice cooled down so the sun's not melting it as bad like this stuff here. You know, you're not really not eating it away much with your foot, so that's good. I'll drill a hole here for you guys and show you what we got. Still pretty darn solid for what it's been through, so that's good. Still pretty solid. I said this ice, thankfully when we got our deep freeze, that this ice froze fast and hard, and you know, did a great job of giving us good ice to last through these warm temps. So that's what I got, you know, bottom of the scoop there. So that's looking pretty good. I'd say another, 10 inches for sure. So like to see that. All this darker ice that you're seeing is holding up pretty darn good to this warmer weather. So, all right, so kind of right there, that house right there, give you a reference point of where I'm at here in the middle, from the north of that third island. Heading my way out that way. I'll go out in the middle over there and see what I can find and kind of give you an update, go a little further and kind of just drill and drill. I'm going to get all the way to that north end. One thing's for sure is, boy, is it beautiful out here. You know, if you are going out, you're not going to have to use a lot of gear for that tournament. You're going to need your sonar equipment, your fishing poles, and you might need an auger, you might not, because a lot of people are going to be drilling holes, pre-fishing for the tournament and things like that. So, you know, you might be minimal gear and be able to move around real fast on foot pretty easily, because you're not going to have to tote a house, you're not going to have to tote any of that stuff with you. So that's one thing to keep in mind for this tournament. So, all right, so I'm out here further down, kind of out other side of the narrows here. You kind of see the reference point here, but I haven't seen anything. I'm driving right down the middle. I mean, that's where I'm staying, because I know, obviously in these warm temps, the edges are going to be the biggest problem. You're going to want to watch that. Obviously the rocks are warming up, the water's running in, starting to weaken up those edges, so that's going to be your dangerous point. So I'm just kind of driving the Snow Dog right down the center, and haven't hit any major slush pockets in the narrows. Obviously it's Thursday, so it's going to change in the next 3 days before the tournament comes, but keep that in mind as you're going through there. Check out all that white ice, like I was saying. Those are the spots to watch out for, but I'm going to drill another hole here and see if our average is about the same. All right, we got this hole drilled. Look down there, check that out. Pretty good solid ice. Like I said, there was no air pockets when I was drilling. Cutting pretty good. Kind of see the ice, you can see the finer chunks. So it's obviously the water's soaking in, getting in the ice a little bit. So that's kind of why we're not bringing our side-by-sides out, just because it's not as strong as it was. But, I mean, still a good amount of ice there. I mean, still a lot of ice there. I know I had a tape measure in my truck. If I can find it, and I'll measure on this so we can see that, and I'll show that at the end of the video. But yeah, still a good amount of ice there, and kind of where we're at doing. I said it's only Thursday, so things can change from the next 3 days till the tournament. If you're coming to pre-fish Friday, Saturday, just be careful. And you kind of seen how that landing was, so be careful with that. But I like what I'm seeing with the ice so far, and we got a north wind today, so it's kind of keeping it cooler, so we're not losing a whole bunch right now. And it's probably, I think it's about 1:30, 2 o'clock, so we're kind of in the hottest point of the day, and it's really not getting a lot of water on top of the ice. That's good. That's good to see. That's kind of saving our butts right now, so good deal. All right, I'm going to go a little further down there where the narrow's opening up, and I'll drill another hole. All right, got that hole drilled. Look at down there, that's looking really good. Good solid ice. right up to there. So still a good amount. You know, that's probably over 10 there, so that's good. Good to see. All right, so I got to the first big opening before you get to the north end, right out of the Narrows. Nice white ice, kind of heaved up a little bit. Nothing major, but just kind of a little bit higher. Kind of see that goes all the way, you know, from that point all the way back to shore, and kind of see that ice over there looking a lot more white and stuff you might want to check before you go anywhere near or stay away from. I know it's a little shallower over there, so but just have to watch that, and there could be some tiles running in. Be mindful of the tiles, because obviously there's going to be water running in, and that's going to weaken your ice as well. So, but yeah, so that's where I'm at right now. I haven't really seen anything on the Snow Dog, kind of looking down, checking out what the cracks look like going through the ice, and haven't seen anything that really alarms me to get nervous with being out here on the Snow Dog. But I can drill a hole right here and we'll see what we got. So I drilled my hole here right where the white ice was. Just kind of show you what's going on there. You kind of see you got about probably at least 3 inches of the white ice. So probably where the line is there, so that's what you got across that little pressure crack, or just where the water pushed up and froze kind of deal there. So that's what you got there. A little bit less, but not too bad. But things can change from Thursday to Sunday, so just watch out for that stuff when you're out here and pay attention to where you're going. That's what I've been doing, kind of looking at the cracks that are in the ice to see if I notice anything. Or it's hard to see right now if you're walking into or driving into any bad ice, because everything looks really rough right now because it's all dark, and that's usually what you're trying to find. But thankfully, like I said, we got this north wind today and keeping things cool, and it's not getting real slippery on top. It's not really losing any ice today, and I think it's supposed to be, I thought it was 44, 45 today. So it's not really hurting it right now, which is great to see. But that's where I am. That's where I just drilled the hole there on that crack. Like I said, I'm coming into the big opening right before you get all the way to the north end up there. So just about to the dredge cut. I'm gonna go over there and drill you a hole and show you what we got. Alright, so I was driving along looking ahead of me, and I kind of seen some ice. It just didn't look like everything else, so I wanted to go over and check it out and see what we had. I said there's the point before you go around to get out into the dredge cut on the far north end, but we're kind of out in between there, but I'm standing on it. There's the Snow Dog right there, but kind of give you a reference point of where I'm at. But if you see this stuff, this ice doesn't really look the best. White, discolored, different than everything else, and when I drilled it, it was definitely junk as far as I'm concerned. So I don't know. You can look down, you can see how much whiter that is all the way down. Hopefully you can get that on the camera, but and it wasn't as much ice as what I've been drilling. Drilled really easy. You can tell what it looks like, how honeycombed it already is. So that's a spot. It's plenty fine to walk on, but I just don't know how strong it is if you're going to be driving a machine. I mean, it's not a spot that you have to go to, so you can go around it. But I know how those shotgun starts go in the tournament, so you just got to be mindful of where you're going and what you're doing if you decide to take anything out other than your Lamborghinis. So if it was me, I'd either be Snow Dogging or Lamborghini in it, but that's up to you guys on what you want to do. But I just want to show everybody that. Just a different area of ice, looking different. Something's going on here, why it looks this way. I'm not sure exactly what happened here, but definitely different than everything else. So keep that in mind when you're coming up there, and that's just kind of right before. All right, we are right almost to the north end, right at the beginning of where the dredge cut is. I see the houses in the background, give you a reference to where I'm at. But the point's right there behind me, which you can see I'm coming over there, and we got guys and people out fishing out here, so that's good to see. But this hole here, I didn't drill it, but I figured, better check it out there, and you can kind of see, kind of same result. Like I said, about the same thickness of what I've been measuring throughout here. So that's really good to see. And like I said, it's kind of staying cold with that north wind right now, and it's not eating at the ice real bad. And I haven't seen much for slush pockets yet, but I'm sure, from Thursday to Sunday with the temps, and if we get any wind or anything silly happens, that there may be some. So you're going to have to watch out for that stuff. But yeah, I'm liking what I'm seeing here. The ice is still good. Definitely no problem walking. Like I said, I would recommend that. That's just me, because this ice changes every day. You can never feel safe when you're out on the ice. You know, you got to always be on edge and always paying attention to what's going on because things can change real fast. So I just want you to keep that in mind when you're out here pre-fishing, whatever you're doing in the next 3 days before the tournament. But like I said, this ice is really hanging on pretty good for what it's been through. Hopefully it can make it through next week, and then it'll cool back down and we'll still make it to the end of February. So fingers crossed that can happen. But all right, I'm going to go a little further into the north end of the dredge cut there and look at some of those holes, and then we'll wrap it up. All right, I am on the north end now where the big dredge cut is. And I didn't really see anything that was too alarming coming over here for me being on the Snow Dog. Obviously there's still white ice and cracks that you got to look at. Be mindful of paying attention to those. Watch if you see water, stop, you know, pay attention, don't drive through it. Watch, go slow, pay attention to where you're going, what's going on. But here I am on the far north end dredge cut. So we got people out here fishing. Lots of holes drilled out here already, so that's going to be one thing. Like I said, you're not going to probably have to use a lot of gear when you come out. You know, just bring the minimal stuff because it's going to be beautiful out. But this is what it looks like here. Still pretty darn good ice out here. I'd say that's probably close to 10 inches there, but still staying solid. A little bit more water on this end, but not bad. Just a few low spots that the water's found it's sitting in. So things are looking good out here. I'm going to tootle around a little bit more if I find anything more alarming, but no, I mean, this ice is hanging on pretty good. Like I said, things are going to change from, you know, it's Thursday, so things are going to change Friday, Saturday. But coming out here pre-fishing, you know, don't be afraid to come out here and start fishing because the ice is definitely walkable. There's no doubt about that. You know, as far as machines go, that's your discretion. Me personally, with this ice, I wouldn't want to take out my side-by-side because they're a little bit heavier. Wheeler, you know, if you got a lighter one, maybe. But as far as I'm concerned, maybe a snowmobile might be all right, things like that. But that's just my personal preference. That's just how I feel on that issue. And like I said, no ice is safe ice. You know, I'm just showing you what I'm seeing, so we're not responsible for what you decide to do. You know, if you decide to bring a machine along, that's great, but just be careful. Like I said in the previous little clip that I did, you're going to want to make sure and have somebody in front of you, drill out a path, mark it on your GPS if you have it, whatever, but just make sure you stay on that path, pay attention to what you're going, and also be mindful that the morning, you know, things are probably going to be better in the morning, but throughout the afternoon during the tournament, you know, things are going to change on the ice and things are going to get softer depending. I don't know what the temp's going to be, but you know, it's changing every day on what they're saying. I've heard 50s for Sunday, so you know, it's going to be a beautiful, beautiful day to be out. Definitely no excuse not to get out on the ice and do some fishing. And I mean, we can't ask for much better weather than this, and we keep our fingers crossed that this ice holds on. But I mean, I think it's looking pretty good from what I'm seeing. And that's what I got. I haven't found any other areas. I know the more I kind of drilled around on that north end, I did find a lot of, you know, no varying thicknesses, but definitely a lot of varying of the strength of the ice. You know, some holes I drill hard. Other holes it would be very, very, you know, really big chunks of ice coming off the auger and just real quick through the hole. So, you know, on this north end, just keep that in mind, what you're doing, because, you know, once again, it's kind of varying ice, and there's some good, really good stuff, some not. And then, like I said, the video I had of that little gas pocket, there's a lot of those. Watch out for those, anything like that. Pay attention to that stuff. But like I said, right now it's about 2:30, and you know, things aren't getting too sloppy out here, and that wind is kind of helping keep that ice cooled down, so we're not losing a lot of ice. But just keep that in mind when you're on this north end fishing. Just watch out for the varying ice. Pay attention to what you're doing, like I said, and you know, everything should be okay, but remember, no ice is safe ice. All right, guys, I'm directly behind over here. Gotta see here where that 10-foot area is. But this is where we found something that's not as good to see here. So this is probably, I don't even think that's maybe 6 inches ice there, if you can see that. So this spot out here, definitely a lot different looking. If you are driving anything out, you're going to want to stay off of this area because it is thinner than probably the thinnest spot I found on the lake. So just keep that in mind, as this area is definitely, I mean, safe for walking, but not safe for anything else. Well, the Snow Dog was fine, but definitely not a four-wheeler, side-by-side, anything bigger. You might be going swimming if you come over this area. So keep that in mind. As I've kind of been out here more this afternoon, the conditions right away when I was out here, things were better, and then things have kind of deteriorated a little bit. The more I drilled around, you know, you kind of see the ice wasn't as good as one would think. Out in the middle, obviously in the narrows, probably was the best ice that I found. So definitely want to keep that one in mind if you're out here, and be safe for this tournament, because this stuff's going to get worse before Sunday. So you're going to want to make sure and stay off of this area if you drive anything out Saturday for pre-fishing, anything like that. Friday as well. Just be careful right here, because definitely the least amount of ice that I have seen anywhere, honestly. Like I said, if that's, maybe 6 inches, maybe 7 if we're lucky. But so that's it. That's what I got right here. I heard just further north out there, there's kind of a spot with 6 inches. I don't think many people venture that far, but if you do, I'm not going to go over there, because I guess a lot of people that I know don't fish that far over. But if you want to give it a try, just be mindful. I know Steve put that on the page there to show you guys where that was at, so just watch out for that. Otherwise, things are looking great out here. Walking is going to be just fine. There's lots of fish to be had out there. So like I said, this is what I got out here, guys. Remember, be safe, always check where you're going, look in front of you. But boy, I'm glad to see this ice looking this good, because I was a little nervous with the weather and being 56 degrees yesterday, but thankfully it didn't beat it up too bad. Hopefully it'll hold on for these next 10 days, and we'll be good to go after that. We'll maybe be able to get the other machines back out. So, all right, well, guys, this is what I got for you here in Emmetsburg, Iowa, Five Island Lake. Good luck to everybody that's in the tournament. I know Steve's been a busy guy, so he's been doing his best getting everything ready, and hopefully everything goes really good on Sunday. So good luck to everybody. This has been Lucas Parsons with LGS Outdoors with another ice report from Emmetsburg, Iowa.